A very good evening and welcome to this evening edition of Yes 101's Visual Radio. Bringing you the news, I'm Hashni Patrana, and let's start off with a look at your headlines first.
News First headline.
President aims a GDP of $350 million by 2050. Rohit Gunawardena to support Ranil Wickremesinghe in presidential election. Crucial discussions in 72 hours. SLMC to discuss support for Sajid in presidential polls. Dalit Javira named presidential candidate of the Sarvajana Balaya. In your international headlines, UK grapples with worst riots in 13 years. And in your sports, it's cricket. Sri Lanka set a target of 250 for India in the second ODI. And now your news in detail. President Ranil Wickremesinghe outlined his vision for Sri Lanka's economy, aiming for a record GDP of $350 billion by the year 2050. President Wickremesinghe engaged with representatives from various sectors in particular, emphasizing strategic initiatives and partnerships necessary to achieve this ambitious economic goal.
Political parties must be responsible. If they go around saying we are going to change this, we are going to change that, that will never happen. We are going to talk to the IMF. IMF has seen all these days. No one came and spoke to them except for me. They were waiting for other parties to come to speak to them, but no one came. 2019 they said they bring down the taxes. And what happened? When they got elected, they brought the taxes down. And where are you? That is why I have decided that we must carry this on. I will give leadership to it. So, we have now looked at how do we earn foreign exchange. Then we have to become an export economy. We must promote national production for exports, whether it's goods. That is why I brought the economic transformation law. That our government's policies must be in line with the export economy. So that by 2032, 2035, we will be able to pay our way through. Today, our GDP is $85 billion. I want it by 2050, when most of us are not here, to be $350 billion. If we can do that, then we are doubling and doubling. Then we will have a very developed country. We can't only have Western province developed.
In more local news, Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna National Convener and Kalathara District Leader MP Rohit Gunawardena said that he will extend his support to President Ranil Wickremesinghe at the upcoming presidential election. Speaking at an event held in his electorate today, MP Gunawardena said that he made the decision responding to the request of party supporters. He stressed that his decision is not a move against his leader Mahinda Rajapaksa. However, he added that there are no permanent friends or permanent enemies in politics. Still in local stories, opposition leader Sajid Premadasa stressed that the thieves who destroyed the country have no place in the Samagi Jana Balavegya or the Samagi Jana Alliance. Premadasa criticized news reports suggesting that certain individuals had pledged their support to the president, urging the public to scrutinize these figures closely. He condemned those who had previously praised and collaborated with the Rajapaksa family, describing their current alignment with the president as indicative of a kingdom of thieves. Addressing the forthcoming election, Premadasa emphasized that the historic mandate on the September 21st would not be used to form alliances with corrupt individuals, but would instead focus on holding those accountable who had harmed farmers, workers and other citizens. He iterated his commitment to reclaiming stolen assets and ensuring that his administration would not make deals with corrupt entities. In more local stories, Businessman Dilith Jayavira has been named the presidential candidate of the Sarva Janabalaya for the upcoming presidential election. The presidential candidate was announced by Vimal Veeravansha at the Sarva Janabalaya convention at the Sukatadasa Indoor Stadium in Colombo. Representatives of the alliance participated in this convention. Still in local news, leader of the Sri Lanka Muslim Congress Rauf Hakim has announced his intention to hold discussions with opposition leader Sajith Premadasa within the next 72 hours regarding extending support in the upcoming presidential election. The discussions will focus on three crucial factors.
High Command has met today and has taken a decision to endorse the candidacy of Mr. Sajith Premadasa for presidency, subject to a discussion on issues concerning our community and the country. Those issues have been discussed at length by party's High Command, and I have been instructed to ensure that Mr. Sajith Premadasa should give his concurrence to those main issues that we would place before him. We would do the discussions within the next 72 hours with him, and subject to those discussions, our decision to endorse Mr. Sajith Premadasa as the presidential candidate for SLMC's support is being confirmed.
That was the leader of the Sri Lanka Muslim Congress, Rauf Hakim. Still in local news, Professor G.L. Piri said the government under Sajith Premadasa is set to introduce a constitutional amendment designed to protect and empower the Bribery and Corruption Commission.
The Honorable Sajith Premadasa is committed to the concept of government under the law, not above the law. The Honorable Sajith Premadasa, leader of the opposition, when he forms his government on the 22nd of September, one of our priority objectives will be to introduce a constitutional amendment, no less, to strengthen the hand of the Bribery and Corruption Commission. Its powers, functions and responsibilities will be entrenched in the Constitution. It will not be possible for Parliament to interfere with those powers. Under the leadership of the Honorable Sajith Premadasa as President, when he assumed office on the 22nd of September, one of the first items on the legislative agenda will be a constitutional amendment which will declare that any interference, any kind of diminishing, lessening of the powers of the Bribery and Corruption Commission cannot be done within Parliament by a two-thirds majority. Even if all the members of Parliament support such a measure, it cannot be done. It will be compulsory to hold a referendum and to obtain the support, the endorsement of the majority of our people.
And that was Professor G.L. Pires.
International news.
Now taking a look at your international news for this hour. UK authorities faced growing pressure today to put an end to England's worst rioting in 13 years after disturbances linked to child murders and involving far-right agitators fled across the country. Unrest related to misinformation about a mass stabbing that killed 3 young girls last week spread to multiple towns and cities yesterday as anti-immigration demonstrators clashed with police. The violence is posing a major test for Prime Minister Keir Starmer, who was elected only a month ago after leading Labour to a landslide landslide win of the Conservatives. About 90 people were arrested after skirmishes broke out at far-right rallies in numerous places, including Liverpool, Manchester, Bristol, Blackpool and Hull, as well as Belfast in Northern Ireland.
Sports news.
And finally, taking a look at your sports update, Sri Lanka registered a memorable 32-run comeback win in the second ODI against India in Colombo. The hosts also claimed their ODI win against India, taking a 1-0 lead in the 3-match series. Sri Lanka's last ODI victory over India came in July 2021 at the same venue. And with that, we wrap up this evening edition of US 101's Visual Radio. I'm Hashni Patirana. Thank you for watching and good night.